Colonel, good evening. Can you
Good evening.
tell us what the situation is down south at the moment? How are things?
When you say down south, you mean Gaza or you mean where I live?
Where you live? How's the situation? How are the people?
Well, it's nice. We are working hard, trying to help. We adopted an IDF unit, so we are washing the soldiers' clothes, each family in their turn. We are using our washing machines every day, a few times a day, and it's important because then the soldiers get back their clothes, smell amazing. A little bit,
I
a
find
little
it
bit.
amazing how Israel just banded together, how everyone is doing their part, how everyone rallies around the people and makes sure that everyone is taken care of.
Yeah.
Now, Colonel, before we get started on tonight, just give our listeners and our viewers again a brief overview of who you are and why you know what you know.
Okay. I'm retired colonel from COGAT, the Coordination of Government Activities in the Government. It means we are the organization that I used to be part of this organization under the command of the Minister of Defense. And why is that? By the way, it's very important. We never spoke about it, I think. It's important because it's to have a balance between the IDF, that they are under the chief of staff, okay, direct command, and between our unit that is responsible on the civilian matters, on the coordination matters, that will be equal. The vote will be equal to the IDF. So the Minister of Defense will hear it. Yes, it's a brigadier general, it's a major general that is part of what we say Matkal, but he is under the Minister of Defense command directly. So the minister will hear directly from the ones who are on the ground, responsible on civilians, the reality. Okay, and it's to balance between the needs. So in the past, I started as an infantry soldier. I was trained as an officer. I was posted in Gaza during the first Intifada, 1988. I was the last officer to leave the Gaza Strip. I've been the mayor of the city Gaza. I was appointed by the governor, the Israeli governor. We controlled the Gaza Strip. We won the 6 Days War, and we controlled it. So we invested a lot in developing the Gaza Strip. Hospitals, schools, universities. It's part of our. It's not that we did a favor to somebody. Okay, it's according to the international law. This was our responsibility. Like any Western country that will control an area, they will be not forced, but this is their obligation. Not only the legal one, but it's also a moral obligation to provide services to the people that you are controlling.
Right.
So I did many nice things there as the mayor of Gaza. Some people liked me, some people did not. Of course, it's not that you can be loved by everyone. It's very natural. And I'm also, as you know, the only IDF officer that was honored by a family in Gaza, and I have a kid named after me. It's a huge honor to a Palestinian Muslim family in Gaza to do that. It's a respect. And then my entire career looked like Gaza, West Bank, Gaza, West Bank, Gaza, West Bank, and then New York and other places all over the world. Egypt, negotiation with who, not directly, with the PA. At my last years at the COGAT, I've been in Ramallah almost once a week, working with the Palestinian ministers, flying with them to Brussels, to the EU Parliament, working together side by side, and trying to do better things. That was our responsibility, to work with the people, to help the people, to lead civil coordination, security coordination. So I know a little bit about Palestinians, a little bit less about their ministers, about their governments, and something about the connection between Gaza and the West Bank. Yes, some small things.
Nice.
So after 30 years of experience with them, and then I also got a unique perspective. I've been almost 5 years in Ramallah. My office was there. I'm the manager of the Palestinian market at the biggest cement company in Israel, working with my Palestinian colleagues in Ramallah, selling cement to my clients from Hebron to Jenin, selling cement to my clients in Gaza. Yes, I know we sold as an Israeli company cement to Gaza, according to the mechanism of inspection that we wrote together with the PA, with the UN, with the EU. I even presented it to Ban Ki-moon in 2014.
That.
So that's a little bit about me. I think it's enough.
Now, Grisha, we've been seeing images, we've been hearing news about the Gaza Strip for the past month and a half. However, it's very difficult to picture actually what's going on the ground. None of us have been there. You have. However, it's tiny. It's 45 square kilometers and 2 million people in there. Can you give us a glimpse of what it looks like and what's happening at the moment? We hear reports of the military action being in the north and then the people being evacuated to the south. How does that work? What is in the south? Why from the north to the south? What does it look like? What does the corridors look like? Help paint a picture for us so that we can get a better view of what's happening on the ground.
Elsa, I prepared a few maps, if it will be okay to share.
Yes, please. Absolutely.
No problem. So just, I'm a little bit too old to do those stuff on computers, so I'll try to do my best. Okay, so let me start with this map, okay?
Right.
Can you see this map?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a map that I just opened one of my presentations, and I just want to explain what was the Gaza Strip until October 7th, okay?
Please.
So this is the northern part of the Gaza Strip, okay? 6 kilometers from the Mediterranean to this, we call it knee, okay? This is the knee of Bet Hanun because it's close to Bet Hanun. And this is the northern border between the Gaza Strip and the State of Israel, where it's written here Qatar, the R escaped. This is the settlement Netiva Asara, the path of the 10, okay? The closest moshav to the border. This is where Hamas penetrated and also killed and massacred families. From this corner, we get down. This is the eastern border between the Gaza Strip and Israel. And this is where the Gaza Strip gets pregnant. You see the belly?
Yes.
Okay. And it reaches to the triangle borders between Gaza, the Gaza Strip, Israel here, and Egypt. Okay. So it's written here Egypt. It's written here Israel behind the cloud. Okay. Now you can see it. And the Gaza Strip, okay? This is the southern border between Gaza and Egypt. Now, I want to be clear about it. Since 2005, Israel is not here. This is a border between Gaza and Egypt. Whoever decides what will go in and out to Gaza are the Egyptians, not Israel. We have no say here, okay?
Right, because that's very often claimed that Israel actually controls Egypt via, I don't know, intimidation.
No. Just I'm talking about until October 7th. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So I want to explain how Gaza looked like until October 7th.
Okay.
So this is the southern border. Okay. Of course, fences here, walls, underground walls. I don't know if you know, but we built a wall, an underground wall.
Yes.
Okay, along the northern and the eastern part, from 50 to 70 meters down underground. Okay, to deal with the attack times. Now here there is a pedestrian crossing. It's called Erez. Okay, and until October 6th. 17,500 people entered from here to work in Israel on a daily basis. And here in the south, in the triangle border, there is a commercial crossing. From here, 1,000 trucks a day from Israel brought goods to Gaza back to back. Okay? And here, Rafah crossing, there are 2 crossings between Gaza and Egypt, controlled by Hamas and by the Egyptians. And until October 7th, 65% of the goods to Gaza actually were imported to Gaza through Egypt. And this is when I mentioned that by taxing the goods here, they made an income of $700 million a year. Okay? This is the Mediterranean. Okay?
Mhm.
So when there is tension between when there used to be tension between Gaza, Hamas, and Israel, so fishermen could fish 1 mile, and then as we started moving ahead with the discussions, it was increased deeper to 3 miles. And October 7th, the fishermen in Gaza the fishing zone was 15 miles deep in the Mediterranean. Okay.
Okay.
So people can define this reality as using variety of names. It's not that, and that's not enough. Okay, it's not enough. Let's not forget that since June 2007, this is a terror entity controlled by a terror organization, and they are challenged with another something like 40 other terror organizations. That the second biggest one is PIJ, Palestinian Islamic Jihad.
Indeed.
Since 2001, Hamas and PIJ and others launched more than 55,000 rockets from this strip into our cities, into Israel.
Mhm.
Okay. Electricity, Israel supplied by 10 lines coming from Ashkelon. Okay, from here, something like 127, 130 mega. A few years ago, it was something like 40% of the consumption. But as years go by and you have natural growth of people and the demand grows, but you are not adding from Israel more, it means the percentage reduces. Okay, so it used to be 45, then it went to 42. Now I think it's 37, something like that. Okay.
Right.
They also have a power plant in Gaza, okay, with 4 turbines that the PA, the Palestinian Authority, are supposed to supply them the diesel and to pay for it. Of course, Mahmoud Abbas, their president, implemented sanctions against Hamas because we conquered Gaza from him in June 2007. So Hamas bought the diesel and got the money from Qatar, $10 million a month, to buy diesel that is from Egypt. Why from Egypt? It's cheaper from Egypt. So they bought it from Egypt in 2.7, 2.5 shekels and sold it at something like 6.5 shekels inside Gaza. Also profit out of it. Okay.
Wow.
Water. Israel supplied water by 2 connections, one in Nahal Oz here, another one here in the area of Dir el-Balah. And those are the pipes that Minister Katz declared at the beginning of the war that he's stopping the flow of water, but it is only 12% of the consumption. Okay? It's 20 million cubic meters a year, okay, to Gaza. The rest of the water they use from wells. They are taking the water from the underground water. Okay, this was the reality until October 7th. Do we have some questions until now?
Yes, yes, I do. I would like to know, Grisha, before 2005, before Israel left, what was the situation with the borders? There's often people speak about a siege, they speak about a blockade. Can you share with us what was the situation before 2005 when Israel disengaged from the Gaza Strip? Was there any kind of siege? Was there any kind of blockade? And if so, why? And if so, not, why not?
I'm not connected to those definitions, to those
Mhm.
words. And I want to be clear about it. Until 2008,
Mhm.
okay, Palestinian workers entered to Israel to work in Israel.
Right.
Okay, until 2008, there was a crossing here, okay, Karni,
Mm-hmm.
near Gaza, with 1,200 trucks that brought goods to Gaza through Karni. And there is an industrial area here. It's called Karni Industrial Area that was built by the US aid. And goods that were produced in Gaza were shipped from there in containers to the port and abroad. Kerem Shalom was not existing then. And then in Rafah also, Palestinians moved in and out freely. Whoever wanted to get a medical treatment from Gaza in Israeli hospitals or in the West Bank could get a permit and enter. Okay,
We're talking.
now the reality was changed. The reality was changed
Mhm.
in 2005 when we disengaged from the Gaza
Mhm.
Strip. We continued with that reality, although Hamas took over the Gaza Strip. Okay, it took Israel a little bit time, okay, a little bit, to understand that we are facing a terror entity and we need to stop all those movements
Mhm.
between the connection between the Gaza Strip and the West Bank. Because if Israel would not do that, we will probably have to face with the same level of terror in the West Bank.
Right. Right.
Okay? Well, yes, Israel stopped access of workers into Israel. Israel stopped or reduced the amount of people who could enter to Israel with permits. And let's not forget that the Palestinian Authority also implemented sanctions
Indeed.
on Hamas in Gaza. Because when somebody gets a treatment in an Israeli hospital, do you know who is paying for that?
The Palestinian Authority.
Exactly. So when they reduce the amount of people from Gaza to get medical treatment, it means they are saving money because they are not paying for that. So this is one of the main reasons also why the international community helped the people. I would say the people of Gaza. Okay,
Mhm.
so I will be polite because it's actually helping the ones who control Gaza, and they, for example, added generators to the hospitals. I don't know if you've seen the video today
Yeah.
from the IDF spokesman under in a headquarter of Hamas under Rantisi Hospital, and we've seen there a box written WHO.
Right.
Okay, it means the World Health Organization gave aid to that hospital. Okay, and it was used by Hamas. As simple as it sounds.
It's heartbreaking. It's insane. It's
It's only the beginning. It's only the beginning. Yes.
right. Okay, that was my only question. Now let's move on past October 7th.
Okay. Let's. I don't you see me again?
There we go.
And let's. Oh, what's wrong here? A minute. Okay. Okay. Can we see this map now?
Hang on, let's see. There we go. Yes.
Excellent. Again, the Gaza Strip,
Mm-hmm.
October 7th. As we remember, we spoke about it the first time. Almost what we understand now is 3,000 terrorists. That's the
Right.
update. Okay, that entered to Israel, and you can see this red line. This is actually where they reached. Okay, inside Israel.
Oh,
Okay.
my goodness. Yes.
So what Israel did immediately is first of all stabilizing the border. Okay,
Mhm.
it means right here with the green line reaching to those points here. Okay, and then also bombing Rafah crossing. Okay, to make sure that nobody crosses to Egypt. Okay. Now I want to be clear about it and explain why. If Israel would not do that, can you imagine that 239 people who were kidnapped to Gaza could actually be smuggled to Egypt?
Wow. Yeah. I didn't think
And
of
from
that.
and from here they could get easily to Iran.
I did not think of that.
Okay, so what Israel did immediately, Israel after stabilizing in parallel, stabilizing this border, okay, and bombing Rafah crossing, okay, and to make sure that nobody will be able to take a bus, drive in, I don't know how, and make sure that those poor civilians that were kidnapped, we will never be able to find, like we never found Ron Arad, okay, for
Right.
example.
Now, just before we continue, I have a question about that. Foreign nationals, dual citizens in Gaza, there are a
Yes.
number of video clips circulating of them standing on the border wanting to leave Gaza into Egypt. What happened there and why could they not leave?
At the beginning they could not live, of course we needed to make sure we look. I want you. Let me ask you something, if I may, Elsa.
Of
Okay,
course.
but please, no offense. Okay,
Grisha.
what would you, Elsa? What would you do? Okay, if somebody would kidnap your husband and your daughter, and they would be in Gaza, wouldn't you expect your government to do whatever they can to make sure that they will be saved, that they will not be smuggled somewhere, that nobody will kill them, that they will be released? Okay, so you take measures,
Everything.
operational measures, to make sure that your country will be able to save them. Okay, so it's very simple, and I'm not talking about you now. I'm talking about other people that I saw demonstrating against Israel. It's very simple to say to be at the UK and say, "Oh, they are doing that and they are doing that and they are pro Hamas, whatever." What would they say if it will be their mother, their father, their daughter?
Indeed.
When it's personal, when it's not personal, it's easy to judge.
Yeah.
It's really, really difficult to judge when it's your family.
Indeed. I agree.
And that's what people do not understand. Okay. By the way, this is what I do not understand, because I think that any protester against Israel, okay, or pro Hamas, if it was his family, he would never dare do something like that.
Well, as you say, I don't think it's been personal ever. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So it's very easy, okay, to say that. Okay, let's continue, Elsa. I want to show you this map, if it's okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Or first of all, you know what? Would you like us to talk a little bit about the north, or we will do it later?
Whichever way is easier for you. I just want us to get a global picture, a bird's eye view of what's happening. Where is Israel at the moment? Why did they enter there? And what is the end goal? Where are they going? Where are the refugees going? Will they be able to get back? Oh, that's a lot of questions. So let's start with the north.
Okay. So again, this is the northern border of the Gaza Strip. You see, this is the knee
Mhm.
of Bet Hanun. It's written here in Arabic, Bet Hanun. Okay. This is Wadi Gaza
Mhm.
here. Okay. Somewhere here. It's the area of Johar ad-Dik. No, sorry, this one exactly. I'm sorry. Okay. This is the Wadi.
Right.
This is the bridge where the IDF asked all the people from the north to cross and to move to the south. Okay.
Why?
To move to the south, it's this place here. Okay. As you can see, it's wider.
Mm-hmm.
It's 40 kilometers. There's more space here. It's the area of the Mawasi here. It's open. It's an open space, so people can anyone that will want to help them and build tents here. You have enough space here. This is where the settlements used to be in Gaza, Gush Katif. Okay. Yes. So it's larger. It's wider. You can send aid here. There are also hospitals here, facilities here, and to make sure that we minimize casualties in the north, we urged, we sent flyers from the air, SMSs, calls, using influence, using the ICRC, using whoever we know, to make sure that as many people as possible will leave the north and cross to the south, so they will not be harmed. Okay.
But what happened?
Hamas at the beginning stopped them, and they prevented them from leaving the hospitals, leaving the schools, leaving the neighborhoods. They opened fire. We have videos of Hamas killing their civilians. We have videos of Hamas beating their civilians. We have videos of Hamas launching mortar shells on their civilians to make sure that they will be afraid that nobody will cross, because they need them in the north. And I want to explain something, okay? And I want to do it, if you don't mind, without a map. Okay? We are talking about two entities: Israel, a democracy.
Right.
Okay? Believe it or not, but we are a democracy. Actually, the only one in the Middle East. And when it comes to our people, to our society, to our culture, with our religion, you don't have to be religion, so the country will look at you and say that you're a Jew, you're Israeli. Also, Arab Israelis that also were kidnapped into Gaza, by the way.
Right.
11 were also murdered, and I think that 7 were also kidnapped into Gaza. I think this is one of the biggest mistakes that Hamas did, because they exposed their face to their brothers, as they say, in Israel, and they wanted to achieve an achievement that they achieved in the past in May 2021, Guardian of the Walls, and they understood that they failed, because those Arab Israelis are looking at them and they are saying, no, this is not who we are. Okay, those are animals and we are Muslims. Okay, and we see more and more people saying we are Israeli Muslims.
Yes, true.
It's a really refreshing thing to hear in Israel. Yes, it's about time that we all live together, okay, peacefully, like we all should. And this is one of the good things that Hamas did by leading this horrible attack. That they made it very clear to the Arabs that live in Israel that they are part of the state of Israel.
Right.
It's very important. There is good thing and a bad thing in everything. Now, when it comes to people, Israel invests money, efforts, building shelters, trying to deal psychologically with people. We are doing what our purpose. I think that you've heard in Israel commanders saying we are so ashamed that we are ready to go and die, okay, by sacrificing ourselves for the people, for the ones who were kidnapped, because we feel that we are that we feel responsibility as officers.
Right.
Now, we live in a state that I'm proud to be a civilian in the state, that we secure our civilians. Okay, the whole goal, whatever we do here, okay, all the inventions like Iron Dome, okay, is to do what? Is to save lives, to save our okay. And there are a lot of I'm going to tell you something. I got a phone call yesterday. Okay, don't be in shock. I got a phone call from Lebanon. A friend of mine. Okay, and this friend of mine told me, I'm going to go to the south, and I'm really afraid. I said, okay, be careful. And then this friend told me, I'm afraid because there are no sirens here, but you have sirens at your place. So this friend expected that if there will be sirens, I will send him a WhatsApp and tell him, be careful. And he's in Lebanon. I'm gonna meet you Thursday morning, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna show you the WhatsApp. Okay. It's crazy, but this is an amazing example to how normal people look at us and say, guys, your existence as IDF, as Shin Bet, as Mossad, as government is to secure your people. Now, this whole speech is to show you the other side. They also need their people, Hamas. They also work a lot with their people, with the civilians, but exactly the opposite.
Right.
They need them as human shields. They need them to stay to protect them. We've heard the interview of Abu Marzouk.
Yes.
Hamas senior. He was asked, why did you build 500 kilometers of underground tunnels and you didn't build shelters to your people?
Not responsible.
And what was his response? His response was the tunnels are for us, the Nukba terrorists, and the people, it's not our responsibility. The UN should build the shelters. So it's two different societies, two different cultures, okay, investing a lot of money in the same issues, civilians, but for two different purposes. And that's the difference. Now, according to the international law, as I checked it today, by the way, I had a discussion with a reporter from Spain. And according to the international law, if we want a hospital and there are civilians there, and in the hospital there is a terror headquarters. After we asked the people to leave and they continued staying there, we have all the legal right to bomb the hospital.
Now, my question there would be, Grisha, proof. Do we have proof that the headquarters are under Shifa Hospital?
One of the purposes to enter is to bring the proofs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Two, I think that you exactly like me, you heard the terrorists that were investigated confessing that the headquarters are there.
Mm-hmm.
And as you probably assume, I've seen many movies of James Bond, so I can assume that there are some issues that if you bring them as an evidence, your sources will be actually burned.
Right.
So if it's not enough to take somebody from Gaza that entered to slaughter and butchered my citizens and confessing, and he's not the only one, okay? We have a dozen terrorists confessing to the guy who investigated them. Yes, the headquarters is there. It's 5 floors down there. What else? Now we've seen also Shifa, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, a video of a Hamas terrorist with an RPG inside the hospital.
Right.
What else
and
do we need to prove?
It's not the only hospital. Shifa is not the only one. The IDF is not yet in Shifa, but we had reports today of another hospital where they did find underground tunnels and they did find evidence of the hostages probably being there.
The hospital, yeah, no, it's near the neighborhood Sheikh Radwan. It's behind Hospital Nasser to Eyes. I've been there also a few times in my past. But I wanna clarify what you just said, okay? Because we spoke about it, and I wanna explain it again. Hamas used cynically, okay, and it's even war crimes if you ask me, okay, using international community money, donations given by good people from the West. From Germany, from France, from Australia, from the EU, okay? To build good things for the people of Gaza. Generators, incubators, many donations, because the Gaza Strip is based on donations. And, people say that, as you mentioned, there's a siege or whatever, they don't have money. And if you remember, we spoke about data and how much money they have. Their money is not the problem in Gaza. The problem is who is using the money and for what purpose. So what Hamas did is they've built actually all their headquarters, all their command headquarters, okay, under not only hospitals, schools, UN facilities. Now, why is that? Because we, as Israel, when we fight, we do it when we are at a war, we do it according to the international law. So they know that we will not bomb a hospital. They know that we will not bomb an ambulance, okay? They know that we will not bomb a school. They know that we will never throw a bomb on a UN building. Can you imagine what will happen to Israel all over the world if we will throw a bomb into a UN, building, office, whatever, knowing for 150% that Sinwar is under there? You can imagine that nobody will even believe us. But this is why they did it in such a smart way, using the kindness of the Western world and using their money, building their abilities, their terror abilities under those delicate places, okay, and using them against us. So the moment you react back, it's easy to blame you as a bully or as somebody that is doing things against the international law or war crimes or whatever. Okay, this is why they did it in such a smart way. So it's not only Shifa, it's all the hospitals in the Gaza Strip. This is why the IDF, and I want to show to you the map, okay? I will show the map. So this is the northern part of the Gaza Strip. Can we see the map?
Yes.
So there is a hospital here, here, another one here. Okay, Shifa is here, and you have another one here in Rantisi. Okay, so the IDF entered from this point into Gaza, and this hospital
Mhm.
is surrounded. The IDF entered from the northern western part. Okay, and it was declared an hour ago that the IDF controls Shati refugee camp and surrounds Shifa from this side. The IDF
Mhm.
also entered from Bet Hanun and surrounds this hospital here. I think it's Al Quds Hospital, or I forget. No, the Indonesian hospital. Okay, here, and the IDF is already located here. So Shifa is surrounded. Al Quds Hospital surrounded. The Indonesian one surrounded. Rantisi is surrounded, and it's all hospitals. Why? Do we have some passion to hospitals? No, we don't. We understand that the most sensitive Hamas headquarters are there, all connected with tunnels.
This is tragic. This is heartbreaking.
This is a strategic a strategy implemented by Hamas, okay, and it's a humanitarian trap to the IDF.
Yeah, that's correct. Now, Grisha, you said you got a call yesterday from a friend in Lebanon. You recently told me about another call that you made to a friend of yours to express your condolences. Can you share that call, or do you
Yes, of
prefer not
course.
to?
I called to a former colleague of mine, okay, that he used to be a PA official in Gaza, and we worked together, okay. He is from the Palestinian side, and I did it from the Israeli side. We shared the same responsibility. So this is the meaning of security civil coordination, and we did good, amazing things in the past. Some of his commanders are responsible to the beginning of the second Intifada. Okay, it means their hands are with blood, but not him. And we saved him from Gaza when Hamas conquered the Gaza Strip in June 2007. Okay, his brother, that was not a P official, as a businessman, was left in Gaza, so he stayed in Gaza. And the guy that actually he was at my rank, a colonel, and so he moved to live in the West Bank. I would not say where. By the way,
Mhm.
when I retired, I found myself working with his brother at the business field. Okay, so for what I understood, their third brother came to visit Gaza before the war.
Mhm.
He was killed by one of the IDF bombs. I called him, like, "Hi, how are you? I understand that this is unfortunately what happened." And he said, "Yes, Grisha. Unfortunately, my brother was killed by an airstrike, and we just completed, sitting the 3 days that the mourning days, and then a nephew of mine also was killed, and we also had to sit again. And you know what, Grisha? I'm going to tell you, 24 members of my family were killed at this war." I said, "Okay, dear, never mind. I'm really sorry. We are friends, and I hope that we will see peace in the future. And I hope that this war will come to an end with the best result for everybody as possible. And I really, really share my condolences with you. It doesn't matter who, when, and how. It's really painful to lose somebody so close. I also lost my parents the last year and a half, both of them, and it's to lose family. It's always painful."
Yeah.
And then he said, "Grisha, please do me a favor." I said, "Yes, what do you need? Anything. Okay, just ask." He said, "Please tell your friends fighting in Gaza that you should not, please do not leave Gaza unless you kill them till the last one." When you said them, I told him, "What do you mean by them?" He said, "Them, Hamas. I don't want them to stay alive. Kill them. This is what they brought on our people, a disaster."
Mhm.
And this is a Palestinian retired officer that used to be in a very close connection with me. Um and as a human being, I just called him, because he lost a family member. So yes, we are eventually, Ezra, believe it or not, eventually we are human beings. He is Palestinian, I'm Israeli, I served at the IDF, he served at the Palestinian Authority, but we are human beings, okay? To lose a brother, doesn't matter how and when, it's painful. So it's only natural that I will call him.
Breaks my heart. It breaks my heart what happened. Grisha, now looking forward, what are we looking at? What is going to happen? Where is the IDF and what is the end goal?
Well, the government of Israel was very clear to the IDF and said you need to make sure that Hamas will collapse. Hamas to collapse, the meaning is to enter boots on the ground to the Gaza Strip. As you all see, the IDF is there, and the IDF is cleaning. Okay, after taking control over the northern part of the Gaza Strip, after making sure that the majority of the civilians leave the north and move to the south, and in the south there is aid. Okay,
Right.
you are saying right, and I talk to many people and they tell me, and they say the same thing, right? It's unbelievable. Okay, you need to understand it. This is an unbelievable reality. There was a massacre in October 7th. 1,400 civilians were brutally butchered. Kids were beheaded, burned. Women were raped. And we have all the right to defend ourselves. And we have all the right to enter and to kill the guys who butchered our people. And yet we continue doing that as human beings with morality, okay? Making sure that as many people as possible will be saved so they will move to the south. And while leading this war in Gaza, with rockets on our cities, with mortar shells on our soldiers, with terrorists, with anti-tanks that are trying to kill us there and in Israel, and another escalation in the north, and another escalation from the Houthis in Yemen. We are making sure that the people in the south will get humanitarian aid.
Indeed.
Now, I want all the professors around the world, all the commanders around the world, to bring one example to a nation that behaved or will behave the same way.
Indeed. Or a nation that gets accused so much of the exact opposite. It blows
You
my
know,
mind.
people can accuse us until tomorrow. Okay, eventually we need to go to bed and to sleep with our morality and not they. Okay,
Yeah, it's true.
so when I go to bed, I sleep very, very good as a baby because I'm clean. Okay, my soul is clean.
Yeah.
And I've been talking to so many people, and the majority who are anti-Israelis even don't know where's Gaza. So if that's what they want to do, let them do it.
Grisha, I have one more question for you. As the last mayor of Gaza, what was your hope when you left? What did you hope would happen to the people? What was your dream?
Gaza, it's more than that. After I left, I was the head of the infrastructure branch at the Erez base. Okay, it's the DCLA. Okay, the District Liaison Coordination of the Gaza Strip. Okay, I've been there, and part of my job was to help the Palestinians to work with them to plan. Okay, master plan Gaza. So I've entered after Yasser Arafat. After the PA took over the Gaza Strip, I entered with the Minister of Planning, Nabil Shahad, those years. And I've seen the maps of Gaza, the master planning. The master planning was that Gaza was supposed to be Hong Kong of the Middle East, Singapore. Gaza could be paradise. Okay? The beaches are amazing. By the way, the people that I remember were actually amazing people, good people that appreciated democracy,
Yeah.
that appreciated the fact that we helped them to advance in the Gaza Strip. And then Hamas brought, I don't know, hell into Gaza. And they could make Gaza, I don't know, the Gaza Strip for dreamers, the Dream Island Gaza. I don't know. We could find a name. I don't know if you know, but after we implemented Oslo in Gaza, Israelis actually entered the weekends to Gaza to stay at hotels, restaurants. It was part of the policy to develop the Gaza Strip. It was supposed to be the pearl of the Mediterranean, and instead of that, they I don't know. They built. I have no other word. They've built hell there. So
Unfortunately, they did.
I really wish after the war that I will be able to enter Gaza and visit Grisha, the small one. That's my dream.
Right. So, what else is your dream for the people of Gaza? What do you want them to achieve? What do you want to see happen there after Hamas?
People of Gaza should understand that they can have a really better life. They should puke Hamas out of them. There's no other way. Because the only way for them, by the way, they are smart people, highly educated, very, it's not, I would say, not typical ones that live in the Middle East that do what they have to do. They are guys and people who think out of the box. And they can bring Gaza to heights that even no country will be around us, that around us could do that in their country. And they're really, really, really people with abilities. All they need to do is really to make sure that after we complete the job in Gaza, the ones who will control them will be the people that they will vote for them, that they will choose them, to lead them to a brighter future, to a better future. That already talks about it, okay? Already talks about it of what will happen, how will the day after look like. But I think that let's keep it for our fourth session, and maybe talk about the day after. Who are the potential? What are the scenarios? Who are the possible leaders, and how it can look like? So I just gave you another idea.
And the relationship with the Palestinian Authority. Now that should be interesting, right?
Part of the scenarios are with them, and part of them are without them. So, but I'm already sitting there. Actually, I have a meeting Thursday noon. Somebody asked me to give some advices, so I'm going to participate in that meeting about the day after in Gaza. But I will not be the mayor again.
That would be interesting indeed.
No. I will once enough.
Thank you so much for speaking with us. We're looking forward to speaking to you again. Thank you. Good night. Stay safe.
Thank you.